Many people go through life as if time were an infinite resource. We spend hours scrolling through endless feeds, obsessing over other people's lives, or fretting about matters we can't control. We lose sight of our own development, the preciousness of each moment, and the agency we have over our actions. By the time we snap out of this daze, countless days, weeks, and even years may have slipped through our fingers. Today, let us talk about focusing on ourselves, about ceasing this waste of time and stepping into a more purposeful life. In doing so, we will draw on the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that, at its core, champions mastery of one's mind, clarity of thought, and the recognition that our power lies in how we respond to life's circumstances. You might ask, why focus on myself? Isn't that selfish? Some might believe that self-focus is self-indulgent, but focusing on yourself does not mean ignoring the world or refusing to help others. It means cultivating a solid foundation within, so that the efforts you make out in the world are truly driven by a clear mind, a compassionate heart, and a disciplined will. Consider how difficult it is to offer genuine support to loved ones if your own life is in disarray. Reflect on how quickly you can become emotionally reactive to trivial provocations when you haven't cultivated self-awareness or practiced self-mastery. By focusing on your own development, you are, in fact, preparing yourself to contribute more meaningfully. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius is often quoted saying, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Focusing on yourself means taking ownership of that power and understanding precisely what belongs within your sphere of control. A crucial aspect of focusing on yourself is learning to stop wasting time. Time is the one resource we cannot retrieve once lost. We can recover lost money by earning more. We can rebuild friendships if we mend them diligently. We can even recoup energy after rest. But time? Once a moment is gone, it is gone forever, locked away in the past. This is one reason Stoics are so mindful of how each day is spent. Seneca famously wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Simply reading that line can make you think, how many hours have you let slip away on meaningless distractions? How many days have you spent dwelling on grudges, regrets, or fears that never materialize? To understand how you might be wasting time, consider your daily routines. Do you wake up mindlessly checking social media first thing? Does your attention drift all over the place because of non-stop notifications and pings? Are you constantly refreshing your inbox, hoping for a new message, instead of immersing yourself fully in your present task? Ask yourself if these habits are aligned with your values or your long-term goals. Most often, the answer is a resounding no. We do these things out of habit, boredom, or the illusion that they provide quick entertainment or relief. But in the grand scheme, they yield neither lasting joy nor actual progress. The Stoics remind us to be conscious of each moment and to distinguish between what is and is not essential. Weigh the worth of an activity before surrendering your most precious commodity, time, to it. When we decide to stop wasting time, we have to confront another obstacle, the fear of missing out, or FOMO. We worry that if we shut off from the noise of the world, we will be left behind, or that we won't be in the loop. But ask yourself, is being in the loop about every fleeting trend or bit of gossip enhancing your life? Epictetus advised us to practice not wanting something so that when it's absent, you don't feel the lack. This sentiment can apply to the overwhelming surge of information we face daily. Practice stepping away from constant news updates or trivial social media drama and see how your focus sharpens and your mind grows calmer. You will often realize you have lost nothing of real significance. You have gained back a piece of your clarity and your time. What should you do with this newly reclaimed time? You devote it to focusing on yourself. You invest it in learning skills that make you more effective, or in cultivating a stoic mindset that helps you handle life's inevitable difficulties. You use it to build your physical health, mental fortitude, or emotional intelligence. You dedicate it to reading books that expand your horizons, journaling your thoughts, or reflecting on the day's events. Focus on the pursuits that enrich your existence rather than deplete it. If you want to truly shift your life from a default autopilot mode to a place of deliberate living, commit to mindful reflection. The old Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, insisted on daily reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself how you lived, where you fell short, and how you can do better tomorrow. The Stoic practice of reflecting on what is in our control versus what is not provides a stark yet liberating reminder. There is no sense wasting energy on what we cannot change. We do not have control over how other people think or behave. We do not have control over external events, natural disasters, societal shifts, or the inevitability of time passing. However, we have complete sovereignty over how we respond to these forces, and because our response is in our hands, we must focus on refining our inner resources, those aspects of ourselves that we are capable of molding through discipline, reflection, and practice. When you fixate on matters beyond your control, you dissipate your energy and feed frustration. When you channel that energy inward, you can build resilience, sharpen your insight, and develop the capacity to maintain calm in chaos. Of course, all of this is easier said than done. The mind often resists. Old habits, insecurities, and distractions call us back to a state of autopilot. So how do we sustain the resolve to focus on ourselves and not waste time? One method is to keep your priorities visible and immediate. Write down your core values, your main goals, or your guiding principles in a place you see often. A small note on your mirror, your journal, or even the lock screen of your phone. This constant reminder acts like a compass, pointing you back to your path whenever you veer off course. Another method is to observe your daily rituals. Introduce Stoic exercises into your morning routine. Perhaps recite a passage that inspires you or do a few minutes of quiet meditation focusing on gratitude and intention. At night, review your day in a journal, writing out moments that tested your patience or revealed an area for growth. Distractions will still come. We will inevitably open our phones and see countless notifications beckoning for attention. Your mind may wander to negative self-talk or to petty dramas, but each time you catch yourself drifting, see it as an opportunity to practice Stoic self-control. Gently rein your attention back to the present, acknowledge the impulse to give in, and then choose a wiser action. Each of these small moments of self-control adds up. Over weeks and months, as you stay consistent, your mind becomes steadier, more discerning about what deserves your energy. You start to see the difference between genuine priorities and ephemeral distractions more clearly. We must also acknowledge that focusing on yourself and ceasing to waste time requires courage. Courage to say no to the demands or invitations that do not align with your deeper purpose. Courage to withdraw from unproductive gossip or groupthink, even if it means momentarily feeling like an outsider. Courage to face your own doubts and insecurities head-on, instead of burying them under a constant stream of noise. This courage is a virtue deeply treasured by the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that it is our duty to stand upright and not be kept upright by others. In other words, stand firm in your convictions, not because someone else is propping you up, but because you have grounded yourself in wisdom and self-knowledge. Let us also consider the role of negativity in time wasting. How many of us spend hours ruminating over perceived slights or injustices? We replay arguments or imagine all the ways things could go wrong. This does nothing but drain our energy. Stoicism teaches us to approach negativity with a calm, rational perspective. Instead of letting negative emotions fester, examine them. Why am I feeling this way? Is it within my control to change this situation? If I cannot control it, can I let it go? If I can control it, what effective action can I take right now? Such questions dismantle the stronghold that negativity can have on our psyche, freeing us to refocus on what truly matters, our growth, our goals, and our principles. Another common way we waste time is by letting our sense of self-worth hinge upon external validation, whether that comes from social media likes, professional accolades, or the fleeting approval of strangers. We chase praise and dread criticism, warping our perception of what truly counts as progress. Stoics like Epictetus remind us that the only validation we ever need is the knowledge that we are living in accordance with virtue, with the best parts of our nature. It is not about impressing others, but about living a life that is honorable and congruent with our values. When you can anchor your self-worth in something stable, your character, your integrity, you free yourself from constantly seeking the external nod of approval. You save immeasurable time and energy that would otherwise be wasted on trying to keep up appearances. We must also talk about the illusions we hold about the future and the regrets we harbor about the past. We often waste time in mental places that do not really exist. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow is uncertain. All we ever have is this present moment. The Stoics were masters at emphasizing the power of the now. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively in his Meditations about how we are but ephemeral travelers in this life, subject to the unstoppable march of time. If we do not appreciate the present, if we do not live fully now, we are essentially squandering the only slice of time that is truly ours. Focusing on yourself in the present moment means noticing your breath, acknowledging your thoughts, and taking deliberate actions instead of merely reacting. In harnessing Stoic principles, you may find that you become more selective about your commitments, because if you must do something, do it wholeheartedly. Seneca advised, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you," reminding us how vital it is to surround ourselves with people and endeavors that uplift and challenge us to grow. If certain relationships are draining you, or certain engagements are distracting from your true path, it might be time to reevaluate them. This does not mean cutting off people carelessly or acting coldly. It means being intentional. You can still treat people with kindness and empathy while also safeguarding your most essential resource, your time, for the pursuits and relationships that resonate with your values and purpose. Focusing on yourself also involves finding a healthy balance between work and rest. Stoicism does not advocate grinding yourself into exhaustion. A Stoic approach to life is not about unrelenting self-denial or turning into a machine devoid of joy. Rather, it's about being clear on your intent. It's about working diligently when it's time to work and resting fully when it's time to rest. The key is to remain present and not squander your energy in half-hearted tasks or mindless leisure. As you sharpen this discipline, you might notice that the distinction between work and leisure becomes clearer. You concentrate on your tasks without distraction, and you allow yourself genuine rest without guilt. Remember, real change takes time. If you have been wasting hours, days, or years, do not berate yourself or sink into despair. Adopt the Stoic viewpoint that the past cannot be undone, but the future can be shaped by present decisions. The question is not, how much time have I lost, but rather, what am I going to do now to live more wisely and purposefully? Embrace each day as a chance to refine your character and deepen your understanding. Every day is an opportunity to become a better steward of your time and attention. A helpful step on this path is to create small, actionable goals. Instead of simply saying, "I will not waste time," or "I will focus on myself," break these intentions down into daily or weekly targets. Perhaps you decide to read for 30 minutes a day, focusing on a book that enriches your mind. Perhaps you commit to journaling each morning or evening, writing down what you are grateful for and what you aim to accomplish. Perhaps you resolve to limit your social media use to a strict time window. As you turn these intentions into concrete rituals, you strengthen your ability to live by them consistently. Each time you follow through on a promise you made to yourself, you build self-trust, which is crucial in sustaining momentum. Another vital element is the practice of gratitude. One of the greatest antidotes to a restless, wasteful mind is to pause and recognize what you already have. Not just material possessions, but relationships, skills, and simple joys. When you shift from a mentality of scarcity to one of appreciation, you become more mindful of how you use your time. You realize that so many of life's blessings are not guaranteed to last forever. This recognition can galvanize you to use each day wisely, to focus on nurturing what truly matters, instead of squandering your hours in trivial pursuits. Another vital element is the practice of gratitude. One of the greatest antidotes to a restless, wasteful mind is to pause and recognize what you already have. Not just material possessions, but relationships, skills, and simple joys. When you shift from a mentality of scarcity to one of appreciation, you become more mindful of how you use your time. You realize that so many of life's blessings are not guaranteed to last forever. This recognition can galvanize you to use each day wisely, to focus on nurturing what truly matters instead of squandering your hours in trivial pursuits. Life will bring obstacles, adversity, and heartbreak. This is a certainty, one that the Stoics taught us to face with equanimity. When challenges come, do we allow them to break our spirit or distract us from our path? Or do we see them as opportunities to practice resilience, patience, and courage? Stoicism teaches that adversities, properly understood, are chances for growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." By reframing difficulties as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, we empower ourselves to keep moving forward without wasting mental energy on complaints or despair. This is a vital principle in focusing on yourself, acknowledging that external circumstances may be challenging, but they need not dominate your internal state, nor derail you from your purpose. Occasionally you will stumble. You may revert to old habits, lose time to distraction, or let negative emotions take hold. In those moments, remember to forgive yourself. Stoicism does not demand perfection. It encourages continual practice. Each slip is an opportunity to learn. Ask yourself, why did I slip? What triggered it? How can I respond more wisely next time? This reflective mindset fosters progress rather than guilt. Over time, you will find that your slip-ups become less frequent or less severe, and your capacity for self-awareness grows stronger. One of the beautiful aspects of focusing on yourself, grounded in Stoic wisdom, is that it ultimately makes you a better partner, friend, colleague, and community member. By valuing your time and refining your character, you're in a better position to offer genuine presence to those around you. Your relationships improve because you are more patient, more attentive, and less prone to unnecessary drama. When you stop wasting time, you open up space for meaningful interactions, purposeful work, and worthwhile leisure. You inspire others by leading through example, by demonstrating that a well-directed mind and a disciplined heart can yield a richer, more peaceful life. Consider also the power of solitude. The modern world is filled with constant chatter, opinions, and demands for our attention, yet the Stoics valued periods of quiet and reflection. It is in solitude that you can hear your own thoughts clearly, free from external influence. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a chance to check in with yourself and sort through the complexity of life. When used wisely, solitude can clarify your priorities, restore your mental balance, and deepen your self-understanding. This process is crucial if you genuinely wish to focus on yourself rather than become lost in the collective noise. Ultimately, focusing on yourself and ceasing the waste of time is about living in alignment with your highest nature, your capacity for reason, moral virtue, and compassion. Stoicism reminds us that we are ephemeral beings in an ever-changing universe. We do not get a rehearsal for life. We are living it. Each moment is a stage on which we either perform with intention or act by default. Let us choose intention. Let us choose to cultivate an inner life that stands firm against the winds of external chaos. Let us choose in each moment to say, I will not squander this precious slice of existence. In summary, recognize that focusing on yourself is not selfish, but necessary for effective living and for offering genuine support to others. Understand that time is a non-renewable resource, and each moment wasted is a moment forever lost. Practice distinguishing between what you can and cannot control, and channel your energy accordingly. Create daily routines and rituals, reading, journaling, reflecting, that support your growth and clarify your priorities. Foster the courage to say no to unnecessary demands, invitations, or distractions that do not align with your values. Reframe challenges as opportunities to practice resilience, remembering that adversity can be a powerful teacher. Forgive yourself when you stumble, and see each slip-up as a lesson rather than an endpoint. Embrace the power of solitude and reflection. using quiet moments to rediscover your own voice and center your mind. Anchor your self-worth in your character and virtues rather than in external validation. Cultivate gratitude for what you have, understanding that nothing is permanent, and thus all is worthy of appreciation. When we adopt these principles and apply them consistently, we free ourselves from the tyranny of comparison, envy, and distraction. We stop wasting our lives on trivial pursuits and redirect our energy toward what truly matters: our growth, our contributions, and the cultivation of a calm, clear mind. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality and universality. It does not ask us to be saints, but to be mindful practitioners, always refining, always learning. Let these words serve as a reminder, and indeed a gentle challenge. Invest in yourself, guard your time, and act with integrity. Tune out the chatter that does not matter. Harness your innate power to choose your response in every situation. Make each hour count, not through relentless busyness, but by moving with clear purpose. In the quiet of your own reflection, ask, "What will I do with the time that remains?" Let your answer be reflected in the daily actions you take, guided by Stoic wisdom and fueled by your desire to live a meaningful, fulfilled life.